Hello everyone and welcome to another video. I am Simply G and today I'm going to be giving my first impressions, my review and recommendation for Drunks by Okaya Izumi, released by Starfruit Books. So I am a huge fan of Starfruit Books. I really have loved a lot of their titles that they've released, and I have previously released one of their titles, that being Pop Life by Minami Kyuta. This once again was a book that I got a review copy for in exchange for an honest review, but I will be leaving the link to the book in the description below so you can purchase and support this small publisher if this sounds like your thing. So Drunks is a short story collection by Okaya Izumi with two main short stories. Translation has been done by Dan Luffy and lettering has been done by Kelly Nyo. The first of these short stories is the titular Drunk, wherein a guy, after a night of drinking with friends or co-workers, he stumbles across a young woman who seems to be vomiting up something incredibly red, to which he presumes it is red wine. But after some talking with this young drunk woman, and after some very odd interactions, he realizes that she may not be entirely what she seems and is in fact a vampire who kind of just attaches herself to him, and so he ends up cohabitating with this vampire who he found drunk on the street one night. It's a short little story, kind of goes through their odd relationship, the ins and outs of how this unusual setup that they have and the unsurety of their relationship. It's quite good, pretty decent. As the creator notes at the end, that it definitely feels a little bit more like a prologue to a larger story, and there is more that I'm sure that Okaya Izumi sensei wanted to delve into with this, but we'll leave to another time. The second of the two stories is called TikTok, is a sci-fi about a guy who is kind of holding on to the cryogenically frozen, or this cryogenic pod of a frozen ancestor that he has, kind of a fourth generation removed, who froze herself sometime 100 years ago and has been looked after by this guy's family for the last 100 years. So our story starts with our protagonist receiving this cryogenic pod. It's now his responsibility to look after it. And for the past 100 years, none of them really know who this individual is, aside from she was related to them at some point. They know her name, but not what she did or what she's done or why she froze herself. So once it arrives in his possession, Tomoko actually wakes up and ceases being cryogenically frozen, and finds herself 100 years in the future. To that, they start a really odd, weird relationship wherein they're kind of related, but not really, and we see a little bit more as to why she made the decision to freeze herself at 27 years old, to stay frozen for 100 years, and how the future may be disappointing, may be surprising, may be not what she expected, and why a young person would have made that decision in the first place. I think it really pulls from this disease within the younger population, the fear that millennials and younger have in this current climate of climate crisis and political upheaval. And I mean, we're currently in a pandemic on top of all of that, plus just everything else, right? Economic crisis. Just the future can seem very scary, but for some people, a far-flung future can be less scary or intimidating than the current stressors of today. And if given the opportunity, would you make that same choice? Would you, under the right circumstances, make a decision to, go to sleep, as it were, for 100 years, wake up to a completely new, but perhaps not completely foreign future? And how would have things changed? Does it mean that you now have to directly confront issues that you were worried about prior, or have they been solved? It's a speculative idea that's been posed by a lot of sci-fi. It's not a unique theme or question, but I do think it's handled quite well in this short little book, and considering it's only 30-40 pages long, it does handle these elements of surprise and familiarity and uncertainty really, really well. This isn't necessarily a book for everyone, but I did enjoy it. I do think that there's a lot of really interesting ideas in Drunks, and I definitely want to see more of Okaya Izumi's work in English if available. And once again, like with all of Starfruit Books' releases, fantastic work on translation, on lettering as well. There's just some really, really good work done that rivals even the large publishers, sometimes even exceeds the larger publishers. So definitely support it if it sounds like your thing. As I mentioned at the beginning, the link in the description will take you directly to where you can purchase this on Starfruit Books' website. But thank you guys so much for watching, for listening. I am Simply G, and these have been my first impressions, reactions, recommendation, review for the short story collection Drunks from Okaya Izumi, released by Starfruit Books. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye till then.